Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach, CEO and founder, alongside of my beautiful wife and business partner, Mrs. Levita Pyers, of the most incredible, one-of-a-kind tax educational platform, running now, guys, over 20 plus years, where we teach the masses what the school system has been forbidden to teach, and that is the more you know, the less you legally, ethically owe in taxes. I want to say it again. The more you know, the more you learn, the more you understand what has not been taught to you, what is being hidden from the masses, what has been forbidden to be taught inside of the school system about the number one financial cancer, the most important financial information, knowledge, or education that you and all of us can get about money, and that's taxation. Why? Because taxation is the number one way that many of us lose a portion of our wealth before it ever goes into our pocket. Think about that for a moment. Sometimes, guys, even before, if you're an employee, a W-2 wage earner, before you ever get your paycheck, the government is all up in your pocket, right? And so you got to get tax informed. Have you ever wondered why they don't teach in high school, junior high school, why they don't teach about taxes? And when I'm talking about taxes, guys, I'm not talking about the fact that you should or you are going to have to pay federal and state income taxes, Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, sales taxes, property taxes for those of you that own a home, which we're going to be talking about owning a home versus, in fact, I'm not even going to compare owning a home versus renting, but I am going to share with you guys some information, some knowledge, because it is my opinion, and I believe that I've had enough experience to make this opinion, that the housing market is in one of the biggest bubbles and in trouble, in one of the biggest bubble and in trouble because of the manipulation of these prices. I know I'm getting a little wind here, so hopefully, guys, the wind doesn't over barrier my message here, and I'm not going to keep you guys long. But before I do, guys, do me a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up or hit the thumbs down if you're not liking the message, right? Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell. I think it's somewhere right over here, somewhere. Hit that little bell and make sure that you hit the all. Hit the drop down window, hit the all. What is that going to do? Every time that I get ready to drop some information, whether it be a pre-recorded or a live, you're going to get a notification. You want to tap in, guys. I am about to go ham on information that everybody needs to know. Okay. For those of you that don't know my background, you can learn more about me, but I've been teaching tax education since 1994. I am not a tax advisor. I am not a tax attorney. I'm not a CPA. I teach everything 100% from the entity that you should be most afraid of, because that's the only person that you have to have a conversation with when it comes to your taxes, and that's the IRS. Okay. And so let me go ahead and set some of you at ease. The IRS is not the boogeyman. The IRS actually, guys, wants you. I can prove it 1,000%. Some of you are not going to agree with this. Some of you are not going to feel like this. The IRS wants you to keep 100% of every dime of your hard-earned income that you earn that's legally, ethically, and morally possible. Let me say that again. The IRS only wants you to pay what you legally must pay, and not one dime more. And that could be zero. For many of you, that could be zero. It's been zero for my wife and I for years, okay, on a 6-figure income as a W-2 wage earner. So anyway, where do I start? Where do I start, guys? We're in trouble, but we've been here before. What do I mean? What do I mean when I say we are in trouble? America, we're in trouble. We got to get our house in order. We have got to turn off the idiot box, aka the TV set. We got to stop scrolling through TikTok. Okay. We got to stop scrolling through Facebook and YouTube, trying to get some type of amusement, trying to get some entertainment, because there's a financial tsunami coming, and it's coming fast. With the election, do you guys see what's happening with the election? I mean, come on. If you don't see what's going on, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. Okay, let me get on topic, guys, because I want to make sure I go ahead and wrap this up in the next 5 or 10 minutes, because I can go on and on and on. If those of you that are watching this would like to learn how you can legally, ethically, and morally start slashing your income taxes. I'm talking about income taxes, federal and state income taxes, legally, ethically, and morally directly from the IRS. I'm going to put an email down in the description of this video where you can email me and you can send me a request for that information. Again, guys, I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a CPA. Okay, let me tell you something. I got CPAs that come to me all the time saying, man, where did you learn this information? Where did you get this type of education? Let me tell you where I got it from. I got it directly from the IRS. You guys will learn more about that story over time. Okay, so let me get into this. I want to talk about the housing market. And I wrote some stuff down. I'm going to go over here and take a seat. Hopefully the lighting is good. Okay, I want to run some numbers by you guys really quick, because I keep hearing people say that they wouldn't pay cash for a house. They much rather have that money in the stock market growing and have a mortgage on their home. Okay, and so this particular gentleman that comes to my mind, here's his numbers. The home that he purchased is $900,000. I think it's more towards $1 million, but let's go with $900,000. He says, look, I have the cash, but I didn't pay cash for the house because I much rather have that money sitting in the market earning me interest, growing for me, than to put it in a dead asset, which is a house. I agree that your house is a dead asset until you sell it. Your house is not an asset. Robert Kiyosaki said, your house is not an asset. Let me give you the definition of an asset and a liability. In fact, I believe your house is more of a liability than an asset. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Let me say it again. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. So I agree. Your primary home takes money out of your pocket. How's that, Mark? Isn't it better than renting? Not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily. Until you get informed, until you get the facts, until you get the real truth, until you get down to the nitty gritty, the truth that they're not telling you. Let me give you these numbers, okay? So $900,000 house at 4.08%. You can't get a house right now for 4.08%. You can't get a 30-year mortgage for 4.08% nowhere on planet Earth unless you come in with a bunch of money. But we're going to run with this number because this is this gentleman's interest rate. 4.08%. The total interest on a 30-year loan on a $900,000 house is $661,806 spread it over that 30 years. Now, here's what people are going to say. Well, Mark, nobody's going to stay in their house for 30 years. You think the bank don't know that? Mark, no one stays in their house for 30 years anymore. I agree. And so let me show you how the banks have set the homeowners up for failure. I'm going to quote some scriptures as I share you this information with you guys, okay? So for those of you that are spiritual and you're Christians, okay, if I'm using this information just to make a point from a financial position, please don't get in the comments and say, oh, that's not what it meant, okay? I'm going to use it to try to bring this message home. The Bible says that the borrower will be slaved to the lender. The Bible said that the borrower will be slaved to the lender. So if you're carrying a mortgage on your house, you are the borrower and your bank is the lender. So here's my question. Who's the slave? I didn't say it. I didn't say it. The Creator said it. The Creator also said that my people are destroyed. Not from the lack of cars, not from the lack of vacations, not from the lack of going to a pristine school, not from the lack of having a house. My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. Knowledge about what? One of the biggest expenses you're ever going to pay right there, a house. Let me give you the numbers. So a $900,000 house at 4.08%, the total interest on a 30-year fixed loan is $661,800. What does that mean? That means that if you kept that house for 30 years and you didn't refinance it for a lower interest rate, you not only would pay the bank the $900,000 for that house, you'd also pay the bank $661,806 in interest. The borrower will be slave to the lender. The Bible also says that a fool and his money will soon be parted. I gave you guys 3 powerful lessons from the Bible right there. Let me go ahead and say them one more time. My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. The borrower will be slaved to the lender. And a fool and his money will soon be parted. Somebody tell me down in the comments where it makes logical financial sense for you to buy something for $900,000 and pay an additional $661,800 on top of the $900,000, and we haven't even talked about property taxes that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. I'm not trying to scare you out of being a homeowner, but you need to get informed. You need to know what the real numbers are. So the mortgage interest, the monthly mortgage interest on that payment is $4,338.35. The monthly payment, $4,338.35. Okay, this is where you need to pay attention. This is where you need to get the kids out the room. This is where you need to turn off the TV set. This is where you need to get rid of all distractions. If you're scrolling on YouTube, scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on TikTok, picking your nose, whatever you may be doing, if you're currently a homeowner and are looking to be a homeowner, I want you to hear these numbers right here. So the monthly payment is $4,338.35. However, out of that $4,338.35, $3,060 of it goes to the bank in interest, which means only $1,278 goes towards the principal in paying off that home. Let me say that again. Over 70.53% of your $4,338 goes into the bank pocket month one, and it continues. It continues over the life of that loan. They front load the loan, so you buy the house. By year 10, you've already almost paid for the entire doggone house. However, you probably still owe 80%. You probably still owe 70% of that $900,000. I hope you guys got what I just put down. Now, if it doesn't get any worse, or if it couldn't get any worse, it does. In 2018, Donald Trump passed some laws in the tax code that now makes it almost impossible for the average homeowner, listen to me, to get a tax deduction for the mortgage interest that they're handing over to the bank. Let me say that again. So that $3,060 that you're giving to a Chase Bank, Bank of America, whoever the lender is, remember, the borrower will be slave to the lender. You can't even get a tax deduction for it. And if you can't get a tax deduction for it, your CPA is never going to tell you what I'm about to tell you. Your tax attorney is never going to tell you what I'm about to tell you. Your tax preparer has never told you when they prepared your taxes and they put your mortgage interest on your income tax that you didn't get no deduction for it at not one dime. Oh yeah, I did, Mark. I can show you my tax return. And I can show you that you didn't get one tax savings at all for the mortgage interest you gave to the bank. But let me tell you what did happen. Because you could not get a tax deduction for it, you had to pay the federal and the state income taxes on that $3,060 in mortgage interest that you gave to the bank. So your mortgage interest that you gave to the bank wasn't $3,060 because you got to add on the income taxes, the federal, the state, the Social Security, the Medicare. I can tell you right now that your Social Security and Medicare is already 7.5%. What's your federal? 15, 20%? What's your state? Another 6 or 8%? Add that up. Because when you filed your taxes, they included that $3,060 as taxable income because you couldn't get a tax deduction for it. So now that I've given you all of that information, you're probably asking yourself, well, Mark, what can we do about it? Is there something we could have done about it? Absolutely. Absolutely. See, there's a way for you not only to get a tax deduction for that $3,060 or whatever amount of money that you're paying in mortgage interest, but there's a way for you to get a tax deduction for the property taxes. There's a way for you to get a tax deduction for the utilities, the lights, the water, the gas, the internet. Excuse me. The internet. Boy, I'm cooking. I need some water. The internet. There's a way for you to get a tax deduction for the gardener. There's a way for you to get a tax deduction for the security alarm. Have I said enough? My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. Guys, our children are in trouble. With these manipulated prices, I'm going to tell you right now, as I get ready to wrap this up, okay? Let me tell you something. If you had learned what I'm about to share with you right now, and you were saving in what I'm going to share with you right now, there's nothing to buy here. You could buy a house today. Let's say this house right here behind me is $800,000. It's somewhere around that price right now. And let's say 10 years ago that house right there was selling for $400,000, 50% less. 10 years ago. Do you know, if you had learned to put your money in real money, God's money, silver and gold, I guarantee you, I can show you the numbers, that for an ounce of gold converted into that $400,000 that you can walk in and buy this house at $800,000 for the equivalent of $400,000, which the price was 10 years ago. Meaning you could buy this house today in 2024 what it was in 2014. You can buy this same house for the same price it sold for 20 years ago. You can buy this house, if it was around 30 years ago, you can buy this house for the same price. I don't care if the house sold for $150,000. You could buy this house right now for $150,000 or the equivalent of $150,000 if you had learned about real money. The manipulation of your compensation has been costing you freedom. Because at the end of the day, guys, money provides you freedom. And the most valuable asset we have is our time. So guys, look, I'm coming up on 20 minutes. way past where I want it to go. If you got value from this, I want you to comment below and let me know what value you got. Share this video. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. You guys ain't seen nothing yet. Mark Pyers is back on the scene, and I'm telling you right now, I am about to bust open the doors of the manipulation of inflation, because inflation is not real. It is a trap, and it is designed to rob you of your freedom. And I'm going to prove it to you. Oh, Mark, you must not have never been to the grocery store lately. No, I've been there. I can tell you right now that I don't care what prices you tell me about. I don't care what prices you tell me has went up. I can prove to you 100% that those prices are the same prices they were 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago when you got the right information, opposed to the manipulation. So make sure you comment inside of this video. Make sure you be a good steward and share this video. Don't be a hater. Make sure you click that little bell. Make sure you get the drop down window and say, I want to know all of the information that he posts. And make sure you go to that email if you want to find out how to stop the bleeding legally, ethically, and morally directly from the IRS. How to put an extra $500, $600, $1,000 in your pocket every month, depending on who you are. Everybody's situation is different. But more is more. More is more. Guys, I'm telling you, you ain't ready for this. You ain't ready for this. So let me go ahead and wrap this up, because I'm 21 minutes into this video, and I said I was going to do about 10 minutes tonight with you guys. So anyway, my name is Mark Pyers, home-based business tax coach and wealth coach, CEO and founder, alongside of my beautiful wife and business partner, Mrs. Lavita Pyers, of the most incredible, one-of-a-kind. There's nothing else out there like it. Trust me and believe me, I know it. The Tax Academy. The Tax Academy, where we teach the masses what the school system has been forbidden to teach. And that is, the more you know, the less you will legally, ethically owe in taxes. And taxes is your #1 expense. We'll see you guys on the next video.